Broadcasting live from upstate New York, a technology talk show that puts you and your questions first. It's Tech Talk Live.
Yeah, baby, it's Tech Talk Live, coming to you live from upstate New York. I'm Flipper.
I'm Snide. And
that's JJ, wherever he is, right?
Yeah, Blake.
I think he's in Virginia, or he's going to PA or something this week.
He needs to go to PA.
Right? So, yes, we're a upstate New York computer talk show. We talk about computers, technology.
Any technology. It's not just computers.
Right.
Could be your car. It could be...
whatever you want to talk about.
Your fishing reel, how depth it goes, and your fish finder or something like that, or how fast does your boat go. We'll talk about anything,
Right, we will.
And you can give us a call at...
1-315-220-0692.
Or you can email us at techtalkliveny@gmail. techtalkliveny@gmail.com.
Yep. And any emails or phone calls or comments on the phone, I guess, if you want to just do it that way. We're putting names in a drawing for the end of the month for a $25 iTunes. Whoops, let me reach over here and get this without hurting myself or stuff.
Destroying something.
So there you go. So $25 iTunes gift card for the end of the month. So get your calls in, get your emails in, and we'll put your name in the drawing.
So what's on the agenda for your agenda for this week, or do you want to hear my agenda?
I don't care. We can start with one of yours if you want. I mean, I thought your AMD has scary things to say about the PC market was kind of intriguing. I was kind of wondering what that was all about.
All right, I got to go back and flip some pages here.
I'm sorry.
Because let me see, Facebook, AMD, there we go. Because, like I say, I started printing some of this stuff out because, like I say, trying to find it on the net, and then it's exploded up enough where I can read it in Braille.
Good. Yeah, you need it in Braille. That's funny.
New technology, Braille.
Yeah, that's new technology.
You ought to see the new Braille writers. So, speaking of technology and Braille writers, they are so much better than they were back in the 70s.
Right.
I can remember my sister's Braille writer. And it was 6 keys or 7 keys, whatever it was, and click, 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 and she would be writing right along, and a punch goes right along like a typewriter. The only thing is the paper, the carriage moved in the paper, and everything else is still. But anyway, AMD has scary things to say about the PC market.
All right.
Believe it or not, the PC, I don't know what's happening to it, but the chief executive of Advanced Micro Devices, AMD.
Which was who?
The chief executive. It didn't mention his name yet.
Oh, okay.
The second largest PC processor supplier had some pretty dire things to say about the state of the PC market. Advanced Micro Devices, the world's... now we're losing it this way. The world's second largest PC processor supplier had some sobering things to say about, say today about the PC market when the company reported earnings today. That was a couple of days ago. Let me see. I don't have the date.
No, it doesn't matter. A few days. It was this week.
July,
it was
July
this week.
19th.
Yeah, it was this week.
So anyway, for the first time since 2001, client PC shipments has declined sequentially for 3 consecutive quarters and have been below the historic average for the last 7 quarters. And AMD CEO Rory R-O-R-Y Reed said during the chip supplier's second quarter earnings conference call, we also believe this is quote, we also believe the PC industry may be resetting to a new lower baseline, he said. Revenue declined 10% to $1.41 billion for the Sunnyvale, California-based company. AMD, which is particularly sensitive to consumer PC demands, also said sales will be down 1%, plus or minus 3% in the third quarter for the second.
Well, okay, so let's start talking about it. Why? I mean, here's the thing. I think I know why. If I can get this frog out of my throat, I'd be all good.
And then I got related stories on it, which are in this too. But
right. Well, I mean, the big
Microsoft and all them post that same.
Well, Microsoft,
scenario.
yeah, Microsoft lost. I think they're down $14 a share or something like that. I mean, first time Microsoft has ever reported a loss in the entire history of Microsoft's existence.
Yeah.
I personally think what we're seeing is the inherent shift. I mean, I think the market's finally saturated itself. Everybody has a PC or a laptop or a mobile device or something. Everybody has technology someplace. I mean, you see 90-year-old people in wheelchairs going around Walmart with a phone now, a cell phone.
Let's start with this loss crap, which is a crap. You know what I mean? Because the federal government says that they got to post a certain amount of money within thousands of dollars above or thousands of dollars below.
Okay.
Whatever they project that they're going to earn, their earnings.
Okay.
So when they post that to the government, they consider it a loss, which is not a loss. They're still making profit, but they're not making as much.
Right. That's really what it comes down to. Yeah.
This is like false advertisement, really. You know what I mean? For any business. It's a form of a way for the government to collect their taxes early. That's what it's all about.
Okay, well, I'll accept that, but really, I mean, if you really look at the market and you really look at what's happening, really, I think we've hit a saturation point.
Right.
I mean, how many laptops are you going to own? One.
You're not. Well, what I'm saying is what's taken over that market is the iPad. Right. The iPhone and all this stuff because, I got a little computer in my hand, you know what I mean? And I can do just as much on that as I can with a laptop.
Well, it depends on what you're trying to do. But yeah, I agree. I mean, the mobile devices have taken over the market more and more. But here's the thing. Microsoft's trying to follow suit. Now, there's a good example. Microsoft's trying to follow suit, and they're letting their desktop product go to the wayside a little bit more in lieu of having a mobile device that works well, So I don't know. I'm a little upset about it because I think that if they're making decent money, period, stay in business, keep providing the product, end of story. So you're going to have to take a pay cut. You're not going to make, $50 million this year as a CEO. You're only going to make $1 million, Yeah. I'm sorry. If you can't live off of $1 million, there's something really wrong with this country, Yeah. But there again, that's another one of those things. And I know that sounds like a liberal sentiment, if you can't live off $1 million, then what the heck are you doing? I'm not trying to say that people aren't worth more. I'm saying that I don't want to see things go off the shelf that were decent products, I mean, look at Borders. Borders was a great store. They failed it. The CEO and the shareholders weren't making enough money, so they did the same thing that we're talking about now. Oh, well, we're not making as much.
We talked about yesterday at lunch about General Motors and all them people. You know what I mean? The CEO's got to make them big bucks even though the company's failing, which is,
Yeah, but is it failing? That's really the question. Is it truly failing? I think that's where I always have the hard sell point. You used to go to Borders, and you'd have at least 50 people in there all the time, from the time that they opened to the time that they closed. I remember going to Eastview up here in New York, which is up in Victor, New York. We go up that way, and we hit the Borders up there, and we'd walk in, and there'd be probably 50 people there. We'd be there for 2 hours, and there'd still be 50 people there.
How many books did you buy in them 2 hours?
Oh, shoot. I bought probably a couple $100 worth.
Let me turn my camera around over here, and I'll show you all the computer books.
Yeah, let me see if I can show them. Hang on, show wide camera. Oh, no, it's too low. It's too low. Never mind.
Well, anyway,
let me see. Well, you can see behind my head here. So here's these bookshelves. Double it, 2-3 tall, and then it's over that way.
But my bookshelves have got just about as many books, if not more, on my big shelf at home, down cellar by my computer.
Right.
And I bought all them through either Borders or Walden Books.
Right, which was Borders, technically. But
Walden Books before Borders took them over.
Yeah, but Borders took them over because they knew that they were a good store. I mean, a lot of people shopped at Walden Books at Auburn Mall. You know, I mean,
Yeah.
It was the local mall. You could go get some good books. You could go get, they couldn't get everything, but man, let me tell you, if you needed to order something, they could order it and it'd be there in a couple days.
Anything that's on the ISBN number,
yep,
you can buy through any of these places, Borders or whatever.
So I guess that's the thought process that I'm having a real hard time with. I'm not really too keen on ebooks yet. Okay, I like to feel the pages. I like to look at the stuff. I don't know. I don't know what it is about me. I like books. I think my problem is like I've got a mobile device. I got a tablet. I've tried putting books on it. I can't read them that way. I don't know. My eyes get tired or whatever the case may be very quickly. So I'm not sure why I don't like it exactly. But I mean, I do know. I'd rather have a book.
I notice one thing because I do a lot of reading and research on the computer.
Right.
I go and I type in my Google research, and you can use Bing or whatever else you want to do.
Yep.
Or Yahoo or any of them. I'll mention them all. But like I said, we're not getting paid advertisement. But anyway,
whatever. It doesn't matter.
But I do an awful lot of research. I mean, weekly. I get stuff from downloaded on different things, and I go and research the basic of what it is. Basics, If it's a story about politics, I go and look at that up. Somebody says, we can't pass this H.R. 4949. So I go and type in .gov and look up what H.R. 4949 is. Right. And then I find out, it was failed, and it can't be brought up until the next session of the Senate, which is next year.
Right.
Or the next election year, or whatever.
Whatever it is, right?
Yeah, until that time.
So back to the reading point. You do all this research on your computer. Right. How do you find, you're okay with doing that, or?
Yeah, because, like I say, where is the resource? Do you go and buy a book that somebody's written about a story like this?
What about newspapers? What about newspapers?
Newspaper is history, really.
You think so?
Yeah. Well, how fast can you get the news? I mean, it's like I say, a lot of the stuff that I come down on the computer.
Yeah, but half
history.
the problem with the news, the news and the electronic news, like you're talking about. A lot of times it's not necessarily the news, it's just whatever that person's writing about. They say, "Oh, I like that," and then they throw it up there.
Not to bring up anything, but before I forget about it, that's one of the first things I wanted to do this morning was send my condolences out to Aurora, Colorado for this crap that went on yesterday.
Yes, actually, I wanted to talk about it. Lisa just sent me an email about it. Here's what she wants to know. What do you think about the Colorado shootings, right? It was Colorado, yeah. Aurora, Colorado? Yeah.
Aurora, Colorado, about 50 miles from Columbine.
Right, it was the Batman movie?
Right.
Yeah.
And that first opened at midnight, and it happened at 12:15.
I know, I still think there's something in the water out there. That's just weird.
We're eating too many macadamia nuts.
Is that where they come from?
I don't know.
Okay. Will this make movie experiences more like airport trips? One, and higher security. What security can be done with such a random act of terror?
The thing of it is, young lady, I'm not trying to reiterate facts, but they're doing the investigation to get all the facts. And from what I understand, the kid come in the theater the normal way, went out the side door exit, put a piece of tape or something to jam the lock so he could come back in. He goes to his car, gets all dressed up in this outfit, and brings in the 3 guns with him and the tear gas bombs or whatever he threw, Well,
I believe
bombs.
One of the statements he made when he was questioned about it was he was Joker.
That's what he was playing, a role of Joker.
Yeah.
But anyway, this is what was said last night on Greta Van Susteren, which was on at 10 o'clock on Fox News. But they were interviewing one of the police chiefs or something, and there's a lot of things that they cannot mention the facts of for the simple reason is they want to do process legally and efficiently.
They got to do due process. I mean, that's all there is to it.
But anyway, they said that they found the kid in the parking lot with a car.
Yeah, they got the guy. They got him real quick. I don't think that.
Yeah, he was outside with his car, or by his car, or whatever.
Yeah.
And when the police arrived, he confessed.
So the question comes down to I think this is, I'm going to reiterate it, and then I'll answer my opinion, then you can answer your opinion. What do you think about the Colorado shootings? Well, first off, I feel that, it was a random act of violence. I don't think it's necessarily terror. I think the guy, the intent was to kill, kill,
maim, or whatever, as many people.
If you're in that fantasy world of Batman, and you're playing the Joker character in your own mind, and whatever reason this medical student goes off the deep end, leaves medical school, and all of a sudden decides he wants to play Joker and do this random act of violence.
And then after all the killings and everything, you just can't push the reset button, and everybody comes back to life.
Right. So, there's got to be something else to play here, whether it's drugs, whether it's a mental condition or something else.
No drugs involved.
What?
No drugs involved. They already went through that.
Well, I thought you said the due process, they couldn't make comment.
Certain comments, but they already said no drugs were involved.
Well, okay. Well, so, we know he wasn't on crack or cocaine, but, he could have been on something different,
Yeah, like, what's that one there, Ambience?
Yeah, there you go. Or Cialis. Oh my God, Cialis makes you become the Joker. Look out.
Well, I'm just saying, Ambience is one that where Kennedy down in New York City struck the garbage truck.
Yeah.
Here just last week, so that's part of some of that.
But I think my point is for such a random act of violence, there must be something, either a mental condition. 99% of the people, like me, you. You always taught me when we were playing video games growing up. This is fantasy. This is reality. It could be just as well. The guy got fed up with society to a certain degree.
Let's take your cats and go play toss the cat.
Yeah, right. No,
I'm just saying.
Yeah,
you see what I'm saying? Reality
versus
fantasy.
Right. So I could see where there's a huge thing. So. What do you think about it, Snide? Not regurgitating some news thing. What do you think in your own mind is the, what do you think about the whole thing?
Well, the mind is something that you cannot prescribe, or prescribe as to what somebody is going to do. It's like when we're talking, you and I, and we're talking about things. You hear only certain things. You believe certain things. I hear certain things, and I believe certain things. So, in other words, when we get together, we clash a lot of times. You know what I mean? You have your opinion, I have my opinion. Everybody has got their opinion on something.
Right.
So, as far as the mind goes, there's no such thing as a snap, because this is, like they were saying about the other shooters of the Fort Hood, and West Virginia Tech and all this stuff. Everything was plotted out.
Right.
It's plotted out in the mind and in the reality, and then they go ahead and do it in reality. Mm-hmm. And this guy is just as sane as you or I are. What makes them want to kill or do what they do? I'm not just saying.
I'm gonna beg to differ with you just on a second, just because I would not use they're just as sane as you or I are. You and I are not going to go out and commit random acts of terror. I keep saying terror. It's really not terror. I really believe it's an act of violence. Is it going to scare people? Absolutely. Is it going to affect us? Yes, absolutely. Is it a terror tactic? I don't think so. I don't think it was meant to be I would think he was trying to really basically try to get Batman to come out of the shadows and beat him up. Yeah. Who knows? That might be it. I don't know.
But I'm just saying, here's the mind. You can't get into somebody else's mind. Neither can I.
Right. Not unless we're Vulcan and we can do the whole mind meld thing. Be like, hey. But anyway, so moving on to the next question, so that we can keep moving right along, because she sent another email and I can't see it yet. Will this make movie experiences more like airport trips?
No, they're gonna beef up the security. But like I say, what they're gonna have to do is put door alarms on those side doors exits, so that they can't go out and jimmy the lock, so that they can return back in that door.
Right. Okay.
or let their friends in or whatever else. You know what I mean? Somebody on the inside, and the alarm has got to go off up in the front office so they can send security down.
I don't care what type of security you put in here. There's still, I mean, yes, you're going to need some security, but I don't want if it.
I don't want a TSA either.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Right. TSA. I mean, I won't. I don't even want to think about flying.
TSA is nothing but a big joke.
Well,
well, we can't. What do they call it?
Pat down.
No. If you look like
you can't.
You stereotype.
Yes, you can't.
Whatever. My God, do I look like a You know, if I
don't know. It's not. It's debatable to me. You know.
Well, I mean, you know what I mean. What are they going to pat me down for? See if I got a hair on my chest or something?
Yeah, maybe. Right. I don't know. I mean,
I keep.
If you got hair on your chest, I don't know. No, I don't want to know. I don't want to know.
It all fell off my head.
Did it really? Okay. So.
But you understand?
I get what you're saying, but I mean, I don't think I mean. What are we going to have to pass through metal detectors? Are we going to have to? What are we going to have to do? Is this a single act that's going to invoke a serious response? Probably. Do I want to see it? Probably not. I mean, all those people, everybody's going to be like, well, they died in vain if we don't do anything. Well, not really. They died at the hands of a deranged lunatic for the most part. How are you going to protect yourself? And somebody's going to say, well, you know, if that was Snide, or if that was JJ, or if that was somebody you knew, what would you want to do about it? Well, you know, I'm all for going and getting the person and an eye for an eye. I've always been that way. You know,
well,
if a random shooter came through, walking through that door right now and shot you dead, you know, and I survived, I would probably spend the rest of my life trying to hunt him down and probably, you know, any accomplices. I would take his life.
We were raised under that presumption, and the way they interpret the Constitution is you cannot do inhumane, unjust things to
another person,
which is all wrong. And it's like I said, if that person there, and it's just like I say, to stop a lot of this crap that's going on, is to do it like they used to do it back in the olden days, either hang them in this town square, or stand them up in front of the town square in a firing squad.
There's still got to be due process. I'm not going to argue the fact that I don't want us to sound like we're trying to be the terrorists here or the random act of violence. But
why should it cost us all that money for due process? You already got the clown,
right?
You know, I can't say clown joker.
So. What security do we think that can be done with such acts of random terror or violence? I'm still going to call it violence. I don't think he was out to terrorize anybody. I think he was out to kill. I mean, that's all there is to it. In my mind, and I could be wrong. I mean, I've been wrong before.
But like I am.
What?
Are you getting out of the screen like I am?
No, you were walking right off the screen. Yeah. I'm like, get over. No, I'm trying to. Well, my neck hurts still, so I'm trying to like get in a comfortable position. I'm just not getting it. Geez, you know, what could you do? I mean, metal detectors, pat downs. I mean, do you really want to go to pat down? I don't want to go. If we go to pat downs, that's going to ruin the movie industry right there.
You're not going to stop any of this stuff because it's like I say, you know, down in Arizona with out in the open, you know, right out in the open, and Gabriel, what's her name there, the senator got shot.
Right.
You know, with 6 other people that got killed there.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And that was right out with security and everything, and she had Secret Service people there. So tell me.
Yeah. I don't know.
Tell me what kind of more security do you need?
How are you going to defend against that? I don't know. I mean, you know,
we all can't live in a bulletproof bubble.
Nope, we can't.
So,
but the question comes down to: are you going to let that affect you and not go out?
No, because I got to go on and live, and if I have to live in fear, if I have to live in fear because I go through a Chicago east side, you know, or south side or whatever side it is that has all this crap going on. Mm-hmm. When I travel through there, do I have to worry about being hit with a stray bullet? It's like the ones down there in Alexander, Virginia. Now here's a horror story.
Well, I was going to say I think I got a better one. I like the
Fredericksburg.
I like the one from Rochester. Remember about 12 years ago, 15 years ago, that the guy and the girl were driving on 590 South, and they were coming by MCC exit there, and some guy was just off in that field over that way, and he was hunting, supposedly.
Pheasant.
And fired a bullet. Yeah, something. Fired a bullet up in the air, thought he hit his target. The target didn't fall, but the bullet flew through the air, went through the window, and hit the passenger guy in the head. The guy just slumped over dead right there in the...
But that was a freak accident,
Well, that was a freak accident, but how do you protect against it? Bulletproof glass? I mean, are we gonna get that ridiculous? I mean, the question comes down to is what can we do to protect against this happening again? Well, I think the basic things.
I wanted to go back to the scary story that I tried to tell you. Fredericksburg, Virginia. Your mother and I stopped at that Mobile station 5 hours before that woman was shot.
Which woman?
Down in Fredericksburg at the Mobile station.
Oh, okay. I didn't know about that.
And we stopped for gas on the way home.
Yeah.
And that's one of the scariest things of my life. To find out, that
5 minutes later, somebody got shot there.
Right. Well, about 5 hours, I think it was. It wasn't very long, or 3 hours, or something like that.
Right.
And the woman was walking back to her car, and they picked her off from up there at that.
Right. But is that going to affect you, where you're going to be like, well, okay, mobile stations have to have bulletproof glass and this, that, and the other?
No, but she was walking from the building to the car. Her cars when they shot her. But what I'm saying is, did that stop me from going through Fredericksburg? No, but every time I go through Fredericksburg, boy, I'll tell you, that's one of the scariest feelings, and I still get very jittery until I get on 95, and I'm out of there about 10 miles south.
Really?
Yeah, I just have that weird feeling, you know what I mean? Intuition, what I'm saying?
Something's in the water. I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know, Snyder. I mean, I am one of those firm believers that, I know bad things are going to happen to me and other people throughout our lives.
We just hope it don't.
Right. We hope it don't, and we hope we can go on. The question comes down to is, do we give in to, I mean, it's like hackers. It's just like hackers, okay? If your Social Security number, you get identity theft committed against you. Now all of a sudden, you got to take a few extra precautions. Okay, no problem. But do you go off the deep end and go into hiding and not surface?
I go hunt this guy down, so I know that he's.
See there's that thought process again. An eye for an eye, a tooth for a tooth, and you and I grew up that way with that thought process.
Well, what did that deer ever do to you that you went hunting for? He put meat on my table. You know what I mean? It's like a
Snyder all of a sudden became a cannibalist there for a second. Look out!
But the only reason you don't go hunting people is they're out of season.
I don't even want to say it. Anyway, we got to go to break. We're a little over.
We're that. I haven't got mine on here.
I know. Well, break?
Yeah.
Anyway, you're listening to Tech Talk Live. I'm Flipper.
I'm Stein.
And we'll be right back after these brief messages.
Sights to see on the internet, but for everything local, there's one place you can get it at fingerlakes1.com. Come on over to fingerlakes1.com. Make us your homepage. News, weather, sports, and fun. Log on to Finger Lakes One.
www.fingerlakes1.com.
You're listening to Free Music by Dano. Download free MP3s at danosongs.com.
And we're back, and it's Tech Talk Live.
Yeah.
I'm Flipper.
I'm Stein.
And we're a computer technology talk show. We talk about just about anything up here in upstate New York.
Or anywhere in the world, if you want to call us.
All right. 315-220-0692 or...
And you email us at techtalkliveny
at gmail.com.
You got it. Like I say, call us about anything, not just because we're computer or we like to talk about computer. Anything that you want to talk about.
Right.
You people make the show, not us.
Right, absolutely. Well, yeah, we make the show. They are the show.
Right. So, but anyway, I don't want to reiterate all that stuff on security and all that stuff, but there's a lot of things that relate to security. But let me get back to this story about the AMD was telling us about the steep drop of what the past 10 years have gone about. And this Mike Burton, an analyst for Northland Capital Markets, whose comments were cited in Bloomberg report. And until the world's largest chip maker wasn't as a negative as AMD and CEO Paul Otellini said earlier this week, it was only expecting full year revenue growth in the 3 to 5% range. Previous the expectations of high single digits. So that pretty much sums it up. You know what I mean? As far as this PC.
So the chip market's not as fruitful as it was. Well, as home consumers, I mean, I'm sorry, my paycheck doesn't go as far as it used to. Yeah, I mean, here's the drastic reality of this. Okay, in my mind, okay, we've gotten fat. We've made a lot of profit on a little pieces, little different pieces that are the moving parts. And these companies have gotten big, and they're making a lot of money. The question comes down to is how much money do they really have to make in order to survive? And that's where I have the problem with it. It's like, okay, well, you have to continue to grow. Well, what if you can't? What if the market is saturated like the PC market? We're throwing out more equipment than we are actually buying anymore. Right?
Well, that's about what it amounts to is, that's all outdated and, it's a boat anchor like, some things that Fred might have as boat anchors.
Right. You just want to get his goat.
I'd try to get something.
Yeah,
I don't want his goat.
No,
I want his donkey.
Yeah, there you go. So, but the whole thing is it really comes down to, I'm sorry. I'm sorry that I'm going to say it this way, but it's just we have lost our way in business. okay? I mean, it's not about unadulterated greed. It's about believing in your company and believing in what you're selling, right?
Well, companies look at it on the other side. The companies used to be part of the family.
Yeah.
Now you're not. You're a throwaway number.
Right.
So it doesn't matter.
What do you bring to the table? Do you bring anything to the table?
Well, if not, see you later. I'll get somebody in here that can.
Right. And, everybody had to bring something to the table. Don't get me wrong. But you brought something to the table and they valued that. Now it's, well, everybody can provide that now. Well, I don't really need that. Okay. But we need $10 million bonuses.
Well, look at don't think nothing about that. Talk about throwaway societies. Just go to your garbage can when you put it out to the street. It's not just garbage in there. Look at the trash that you have generated. It's like I say, I got as big a recycle can as I do a trash can. And that gets full every 2 weeks. I'm talking as that much recycle that I recycle. Cans, bottles, paper, cardboard, anything that recycles. I just don't throw it out anymore. But my trash, such as paper plates, because you can't recycle paper plates because it's got garbage on it. Food. You see what I'm saying?
It's got food on it, yes.
Well, that's garbage.
Well.
So anyway,
okay.
Paper napkins that you wipe.
You speak for your own cooking, okay? I mean, if you want to consider your own cooking garbage, I'm fine. Okay, whatever.
I'm saying a picnic when you go to a picnic.
I know,
but I don't want dishes to do either.
Well, it's like a pizza box, okay? It's just like a pizza box. You can't really recycle a pizza box. Why? Because it has biodegradable grease on it, food product, okay? So what do you do with that? The question now, does the cardboard biodegrade just as fast? Absolutely, it does. It's wood. Cardboard's wood. Okay.
But anyway, if you cut the cover off and recycle that and throw the other out, that's half of the.
Yeah, if you don't have anything on.
But nobody does that.
Right.
It's easier just to throw it out. That's
right.
So recycle a computer is the same way.
Right.
We're throwing this stuff out. My mouse quit, so I went and bought another one because it was $29, and $29 is nothing.
Right.
So they buy a new mouse and throw. Where does the other one go? In the trash. Where does the plastic go? You can't recycle it. Why can't you recycle the plastic?
Well, because once it's been hardened, it's really costly to change it back to being non-hard. So absolutely. I mean, I think really what my point was with this whole thing was we look at the overall picture of the market. We're going with more and more mobile devices. We're getting away from the PCs. And since we're on that statement, it's just like with mobile apps and devices. Is apps for Android, iPad, Windows 8 really helpful to business or bring on the games? Well, it's proven statistically from downloads and so on and so forth that these devices are more used for entertainment purposes rather than business purposes. Now, I can't speak for everybody because that wouldn't be true statistics then. But you really look at it. I got a pad. I got a tablet. Okay, it's an Android tablet. What's the majority that I have on there? I have my email, so I can do the shows and all that other stuff. I've got a Office product that I barely even use, and then I've got games. That's what I got on it.
Sounds to me these things iPad. It sounds like a Tampax with a GPS system.
Jesus Christ.
But anyway, you know what I mean.
Oh wow. I got the new iPad. It's super absorbent.
It does. It absorbs a lot of information.
Yeah. Jeez. Holy cow. Yeah.
But you talked about social networking here. Now, you got any more on that or not, or what?
Well, I think it was just a discussion. I mean, I wanted to see what you thought. I mean, do you think they're more used for games and entertainment purposes?
A lot of things are.
Or is it more? Could it be used for business? Absolutely. Is it? No, the market share is not there.
They're just something about it that they're just not that. It's like that. What's the other one that they use?
What other one?
The one here a couple of years ago that Obama got so that he could use in the White House there.
iPad?
No, it wasn't the iPad. It was that
the Android?
Something book. But anyway.
Something book.
Yeah, it's... Geez, I'm lost for words. I just can't.
So anyway, you got a tablet.
I thought, yeah,
you got a tablet.
I just couldn't go back far enough.
That's fine. You got a tablet, yeah.
But you know, he had to have that so that he could keep in contact with whom. You know what I mean?
Well, it's constituents and staff. I mean,
well, but anyway, for businesses, you know, it quite hasn't caught on yet. You know, for businesses. A lot of people have. If you got a comment on this, because I'm saying it didn't catch on, either email us or call us, you know, and
right.
Give us your comment on it.
Yeah, call us, get on the air, talk to us, you know, argue with us. We don't care. We love good radio or video or whatever we're doing.
Or good argument, you know what I mean? As long as it's a common sense argument. You know,
right, yeah, and don't get emotional and don't get stupid.
But I love you, Flipper.
I don't think there's anybody out there that loves me.
Yeah, well... But
well, B, yeah, but that's about it.
But anyway, getting back to that old whole saying over again about is it going to go into business parts? You know what I mean? It depends on what they can program into it. You know,
what apps you can get.
Just think if you could have your whole inventory on there.
You can. There's apps out there already built for it.
But
the market share, the bigger market share is the consumer.
But walking around Lowe's or Home Depot, I'm not giving both credit, you know what I mean, with an iPad, and all your information is on there of what aisle and where this stuff is, what number it is, have we got it, you know?
Well, you got those QCV codes or whatever they are, the little squares with all the dots in it, which gives, you know, which you have an application that decodes that and gives you all the information about that product, where it's located, whatever. But yeah, I mean, it you know, there's a lot of things out there, but it's geared towards the consumer rather than geared towards business. I mean, really, by the end of the day, I mean, how many iPads? I mean, it used to be cell phones. The cell phone industry was, you know, 80% business and 20% consumers, right? Well, then all of a sudden it started flip-flopping and going through here. Now it's 50-50. Now it's whatever. You know, maybe the business is only 30 and the consumer is 70. But that's kind of where I'm going with this, is that if you really look at this from a standpoint of where we're going with this industry and all these mobile apps and stuff, there's more mobile apps geared towards the home user or the personal user for entertainment purposes, rather than business apps that are out there that are decent, that actually do a good job.
It's like I said, I like a phone that I can take out of my hip, you know what I mean? And I got my Droid, you know what I mean? But, and this here's got all these apps on it. But now all of a sudden, I want a phone number, and I'm trying to look up this person's phone number. Can I get it on my phone?
Yeah.
Unless you got the program in there for the directory, business directory,
or if you got the
white,
you know, the contact list or whatever.
Yeah. And now you got all these phone numbers in there that you can get anybody anywhere. But the thing of it is you can't call somebody that's got a cell phone because they're not listed.
But relating it back to the original discussion about AMD and so on and so forth, I really think this is part of the problem that AMD is starting to experience. And I still think AMD has another identity problem going on, like they did back in 2000. They just bought AMD just bought ATI chipsets,
something like that.
Yeah, they now have the Radeon cards. They're doing video card chipsets now. Well, you know,
but I think the Radeon is kind of sloughed off a little bit on
performance. Yeah,
performance. See, so but a GeForce card is still
well, and that kind of brings me back to the whole concept of the next topic, since we'll move right into the next topic because we're you know, getting short on time here. You know, the lost and found, you know, idea. Where did PC games go, and are they ever going to come back? You know, what PC games are out there now compared to console games. Console games, you had a specific set of specs that you had to build for, right? This is the specs of the PlayStation. This is the specs for the Xbox. This is the specs for whatever console you're on. The Wii, I think, is the other one. You had, as a developer, as a game developer, had to build for those specs and make the game run well on those specs and the story. So, you go out into a console situation, you go play, whatever game you want to play, Final Fantasy, I don't care what it is. I mean, Diablo, I don't think it's on PlayStation, but, you get my point. Any game it is, they built it specifically for that platform. You get into the PC realm, and you don't know what the user has for video card, memory, processor, so on and so on. So they build the game so up, it's so huge up on what it can do if you have the processing power to do it. It kind of throws the PC game industry off. Instead of making the game efficient as they can, they've gone with, well, let's make it as big as we can and give the user more options. And I think that's detracted from the PC gaming world and the PC gaming experience.
Here's another concept to that. Back when the Atari 2600 was famous.
A console, yep.
Way back in the 80s.
Yep.
And, I'm saying, back in the 80s. And like I say, all you had was Pong Sports or something like that. Well, guess what? Walmart just put on their shelves the other day the Atari 2600. I walked in there with 18 games or something like that. For $29.
Yeah,
$30. Tax would be $30.
It's a small console.
I'm not trying to advertise for Walmart, but I'm just saying that's an honorable mention of the 2600 console. Now, when you play PC games, everything is over the net, like
Diablo, StarCraft.
You know what I mean? And Diablo 3 is, like I said, every time I go in there and I revisit one of the areas of what I was playing was altogether a different map.
Right.
And even though it was played the same way, but it was a different map. You didn't get used to going to this point A to point B and C and so on. You had to go point A to point D to over to F and back to A, and you go around that neighborhood. You know what I mean? It's not the same. And this is why it's gone over the internet, is because I don't think you can get enough on the disc to cover all the maps.
I don't think it's the disc problem. I really don't. I think it's the content problem. Like Diablo 3, you're connected. One, it's to prevent hackers, and it's to prevent pirators. Okay, so you have to have a valid account with a valid game attached to your account in order to go play Diablo 3. Okay, which is what Sony's done with the PlayStation and Xbox has done with the Xbox. PC games were the ones that were lagging behind. Because the PC gamers were more like, I want the game to play it on my local PC. That's it. I don't want to get out on the net. Well, now that you kind of look at it and say, well, if you got a console, if you got a PC, most likely you're on the net. Now they've kind of caught up. Now they're like, okay, well, now you got to have this attached to your account and so on and so forth. So security-wise, we know that you have a valid copy of Diablo 3.
And you're not now. You'll get booted real quick if you try to cheat.
Right.
Oh, man, they come down on you like a ton of bricks.
Right, and that's the other thing, is that they're claiming it's all about experience, making the experience a more enjoyable experience for everybody. Well, that's great and all, but now you got to have, the other piece of that being online too thing is that you can randomize your maps. You could have a set of 10 or 15 maps pre-made and then randomize different elements of it. And it would give the user a new experience every time they go into any given area, right?
Any given map. Yeah.
Right. So that's where that also plays in. But here's the thing. You look at Diablo 3 and you look at the standard laptop or PC that, you're playing it on, and you have to turn down the settings to get a good frame rate. Okay?
Mine takes it pretty good because.
Well, you got a decent laptop now,
right?
I'm talking like my laptop, this laptop,
That laptop, I don't even think will play it, will it?
I doubt it. No,
because it'll tell you video card right off the bat.
Right. So
that was like Star Wars, remember? Or
StarCraft, yeah.
I couldn't play it because on that, and that's what forced me into buying this Cosmio.
So there's kind of the point is that, okay, here's a perfectly good laptop that just can't play it. Well, where have PC games gone, and are they ever going to come back? I don't think we'll ever see PC games like we knew PC games. You know, you went out and bought Doom, Quake, or whatever. Whatever the game was, you brought it home, you plugged it in, you installed it, you played it through the storyline, and you were happy you were done. You were happy you spent $50.
But anyway, getting back to that same old story, is if you got a 64-bit program now,
right,
such as Windows 7, you know what I mean, and now you're on that 64-bit, you can't play any of them games. Oh, yes, you can.
Well, the old ones, you gotta switch some things back.
No, you gotta get the upgrade. There's an upgrade for Windows 7 that'll back play all them games. I've got it on here. I bought it. It's I can get it out of the.
That's fine. Well, next show.
But I can get it out of that briefcase right there and show you that I had this upgrade, so that I could go back to the 32-bit and the 16-bit games.
Yep.
Which I could go back to Doom, but there's only a couple that I can't play. Like Doom 2000, that won't play.
Right, that was an RTS, yep.
So there's some games that just won't play regardless of what you do. And I've searched the internet over, and they just won't let you play it. There's no way that you can play that game. So
right, we're just about out of time. We
got
about 2 minutes, and I'm really mad that we didn't. I should have cut you off earlier about the security thing because. What I wanted to talk about, and I got 2 minutes, I could probably throw it in here, but then we'll talk about it later. One of the big discussions on the net this last week was about whether or not it is better to teach your staff good security standards or ignore training and focus on better protection. Okay? And that's what's been in a lot of different columnists, bloggers, going back and forth because of some of these issues that have come up with security and viruses and so on and so forth. And so the question comes down to, is it better to teach your staff good security standards and spend your money there, or ignore the training and save the money and put it more into protection?
You've got to have both, really. If you don't have protection and you don't have training, you know what I mean, you're just beating your head up against the wall. You got to have both. You got to have an equal balance of each.
Well, I don't know if it has to be equal. I don't think it has to be equal, but there has to be both. I can't see why they're. This one blogger was like, forgo the good security standards because it doesn't matter how many times you tell that person not to click on that link in that email. Which kind of comes back to like what happened to you this last week. You said something came from me, and I didn't send you nothing.
Oh, and I can show you.
I want to see that before you leave. But the whole thing comes down to is did you click on the link? I don't know if you did or not, but Yeah,
I did, but it wouldn't load up. It just wouldn't.
So it could have infected you with something. It could have done a couple of different things. So there's the question. I mean, you're living proof right there. Can we teach better security standards, or are the users going to just continue to click things as it comes in?
Now you're telling me the same thing that just what you just said. Do not click on the link. Well, my son, which is Flipper, sent me an email, which I thought was pretty credible, which I didn't have to worry about some virus or some other thing.
But the question was, did you verify it was me?
See?
That's the question.
I tried to verify it with you, and
no, not verify it with me. The question comes down to, that's why I want to look at this email, because it could have, you can tell an email program to send anybody an email out on the net and say that it's from Flipper. Okay, on Tech, you can say Flipper on Tech Talk Live, and then it's a whole nother address someplace else. It could be going to Denmark, and then have all this garbage in here, and then people start getting mad at me because it says it was from Flipper. It wasn't from Flipper, and that's the key here. That's why I want to see that email, and I want to really question that. But that's kind of the buyer beware thing that we always preached before, was double checking the content of these files or emails that are coming through before you do anything with these, because that's how these social engineers and these virus makers are getting through. And I guess that's proof in the pudding for these people is that, stuff like that still happens. Somebody said, well, you probably clicked on bad things before. I said, well, yeah, of course I do, because I actually have to research them and figure out what they're doing. So yes, I've clicked on them before intentionally. The question comes down to, are they actually getting me? No. Now the question comes down to, the average user, are they going to have enough common sense or enough security training to really understand, well, you shouldn't be clicking on links, you shouldn't be clicking on videos, you shouldn't be sharing Word docs, da-da-da-da-da. Where do you draw the line? And where does training stop and then better protection comes in? Well, how much protection can you have? You can only protect so much. It's just like the movie theater thought process. How much more can you protect there? Metal detectors, TSA guards. I mean, what are we going to do? How far can you take it? Same concept with your network security. How far can you really take it? It all comes down to cost, a balance between cost and effort, right? Okay. Anyway, that could be the discussion for next week. I just want to throw that in there.
Well, it's like I say, some of the stuff that I got here that I put on, we'll continue on with it next week. But that laser thing, that could be any time, because, like I said,
that laser thing sounded cool too.
Yeah, that laser. So I'll bring that to the board, to the floor next week. And
to the board.
Well, to the board. You're the board, aren't you?
No.
But anyway, to the floor, to the house, to whatever. I'll bring that next week.
Get down on the floor, baby. Anyway.
But that sounded really cool.
Whoops. Sorry, I guess we're ending the show.
We're going to end the show.
I guess we're going to end the show. Anyway, you have been listening to Tech Talk Live on Flipper.
I'm Stein.
We're on every Saturday morning, 11 to 12, on the Finger Lakes 1.tv network. We're out here.
Listening to your technology talk show. Tune in next time to Tech Talk Live.